I really love and I really go back to this one interview um, that Nicki Minaj did in Hot 97 back in 2010. And she basically said that, when you don't make moves and when you don't climb up the ladder, everybody loves you because you're not competition. And growing up, that's just so freaking true and it just resonates so much. Um, and, sometimes you really had to find the hard way that people compete, like subconsciously compete with you or secretly compete with you, and secretly they want to steal your shine and secretly they are jealous of you. And you see, there's this jealousy that you can turn into something really powerful and gold, and there's this jealousy that is the type to destiny swamp you, basically. And there's a lot of talking about the Diddy documentary that 50 Cent did lately, that a lot of people started saying about destiny swapping, and I haven't seen it yet. I really want to see it because it talks about two of the greatest rappers, and I'm such a Tupac girly. I really love Tupac. Not that I don't like Biggie, just Biggie wasn't my cup of tea, but he was definitely legendary and I really like some of his songs. But anyway, so a person can either can be jealous of you, but it can turn that into something powerful. It can turn the jealousy and stubbornness and want to do better and desire to do better and to get to your level, or it can go to the other side, which is like, I want to completely steal everything and basically, like, get you out of the way, which can happen. Really depends on the person. But in my life, a lot of times I've seen people, especially friends, being secretly jealous of me, being secretly competitive, and it just appalled me because I'm like, what is this? Like, why do people act like that? How can these people like really think like that? Like, like, how can you love a person and make great memories with and have great experiences with and share things, and at the same time you could basically hate their guts secretly, or you could basically like go to war with them secretly without them knowing? It's freaking crazy to me. And as I get older and I dive deeper into my own personal chart, which I have my sun in the 11th house in Scorpio, a lot of those things, it really happens in the shadows, like even in astrology. Like, I can see that through my own personal chart, that's how a lot of people could maybe act, And the more I study and dive deeper, it makes more sense to me that a lot of these friends may be secretly enemies, and a lot of these friends are secretly very jealous in the shadows. Like, there's a lot of things happening in the shadows when it comes down to my friendship part. Yeah. Yeah, and I had these people who, they were congratulating me, and they were saying that they were proud, that they are proud, and they were proud in the past of me. But you could really tell that they were happy, when, they were only happy until, I was doing better than them. And that's not friendship, and that's not really loving someone and really like congratulating them and really just being happy for them. That is just fake, because if you only feel good when I'm doing shittier than you, then you have some problem with yourself. some self-esteem issues, some confidence issues. I feel like most of us have it, but it's just like what I realized, because like, you know, this year is closing, and this year for me started with a lot of self-esteem and confidence hits in January, no, like in December, late December of 2024, and then all the, you know, from the start of 2025, you know, I was diving deeper and just I was diving deeper into confidence and how I was as a person, as a teenager, how many of the things I repressed and suppressed and hidden by putting this fake confidence, this fake it till you make it attitude that I feel like a lot of us had back when we were teenagers, you know, because it was easier to mute the world when you were a teenager. But then as an adult, it's like, whoa, you know, it feels too much. But yeah, and you know, this whole year has been a lot of building up on my self-esteem. It would be crazy to tell you that it was fucking easy. It wasn't. But one thing I understood through diving deeper into, you know, my really weird insecurities, me crying to the camera, me crying on the streets, me basically crying my eyes out, you know, as I was meditating, and I was diving deeper into a lot of my insecurities and a lot of my traumas. Through this year, as it's coming to an end, I realize that confidence is not something that you can basically fake till the end. You know, do I believe fake it till you make it? Yes, at some point, because, you know, I believe that, you know, you can play a character and then be the character, but at the same time, does that, you know, is that deep enough? Is that deep rooted enough? Is that structured enough so it cannot, I don't know, like be destroyed? Or it can be destroyed. But yeah, what I realized this year is that what confidence is really knowing who you are, knowing your weaknesses, knowing your strengths. And by knowing who you are not afraid to be who you are. And it's basically owning up to yourself, owning up to your talents, to your skills, to your truth, slowly. So true confidence is basically self-acceptance, but they won't tell you that, you know. And when I mean self-acceptance, it's not that, oh, you're the best person and you made it, or when we get to this point and to this level, when we get the car, when we get the job, when we get the certain relationship, you know, we're going to accept ourselves. Now, acceptance is like basically where you are right now, right? Like personally, me, I struggled with a lot of things after the near-death experience that I had. I struggled to stay at home alone. Not all the time, but sometimes I do. I struggled to like take long walks as I used to. I struggled with my energy levels. And yeah, basically that's it. You know, I struggle with that. I struggle with finding the right foods every day and thinking of the right foods to eat, because I have to keep my diet balanced. Like I have to keep, no, my diet is like my nutrition balanced. You know, I struggle with this like everyday thing, you know, because I do struggle with a lot of things that I have on a daily basis to deal with, whether I like it or not. So I accept the fact that I'm here right now, that I struggle, but at the same time, I try and I work hard towards what I want. And I have a goal to just, you know, do certain things. And that can be simple. Like for me today, I took a long walk of 20 something minutes with my bike around the neighborhood. And that is like big, you know, because like my goal is to just get farther and farther away from where I'm going. Like it's to make more miles and last for more hours, right? But I'm accepting where I am, you know? So like that is my reality of now, and that is me accepting the fact that, oh, you know, I'm here. There's certain things that I can do, and I want to push myself farther, you know, to a point that I may break. So for me, self-acceptance and confidence comes when you're not afraid to be yourself. You're not afraid or shamed. You're not ashamed or afraid to own up to your weaknesses and your strengths, you know? Because, like, in this whole thing, I can say that, oh, you know, like, right now, my weakness is that, oh, you know, my health is not 100% okay. And I still struggle with what happened in Egypt in April. But my strength is the fact that I won't give up. And I never give up. Because I'm stubborn as hell. And I'm ambitious as hell. And I'm resilient as hell. So that is my strength. And those are my weaknesses, right? And when I own up to them, I have no reason to be afraid. So I'm confident in myself. Because there's nothing to be truly hidden from myself. Because I know myself. I talk with myself. I see myself. So when a person says, oh, you know, you ain't this and you ain't that, I know who I am. So it's not going to break me. So yeah. So for me, it's basically knowing who you are. Knowing your weaknesses and your strengths and everything in between, and owning up to you, and not being afraid to protect your truth or your point of view sometimes. Because, like, we are in the world which we're just so afraid to speak up and so afraid to be, and I get it. I work a lot on my Mercury, basically, because I have it in a really difficult house for me. So I've struggled with my voice a lot. But you know what? I'm gonna keep going, because there's nothing you can do in this life but keep going. But yeah, for me, confidence is when you know who you are, you know where you're coming from, and you're not afraid to believe in yourself, believe in your dreams. And not only that, like, you're not afraid to talk your shit. You know, it's really important. And sometimes you get to learn confidence by being at the fucking rock bottom. That's what I believe. Because when you go through rock bottom or through hard times, you get to humble yourself. And humbling is really beautiful. I mean, yes, it could not be. It could look really bad. It could look like, oh, you know, like, I'm humiliated and everything. But grounding and humbling can also be about not taking so much air, not just being so up in the clouds, but just being down and having some realizations, some breakdowns, and some breakthroughs. And that's good, because, you know, people who actually struggle are more intelligent than people who don't. People who struggle, not only they learn to have compassion for others, not only they learn to be emotional, in tune, and empathetic and empathic, but they can also start to realize, like, the layers of existence and reality. You know, they get to study the whole friggin' life, how things go. Because when you are at the bottom is when you realize everything, the depth, the width, you know, the texture, everything, the coloring, the up and the down. So, you know, they say as above, so below, but without the below, there's no above, period. So I guess that's where I have to close the video today. Thank you for listening.